All right, everybody. Today we are taking a deep dive into integrated marketing campaigns.
IMCs.
IMCs, exactly. That's where brands blend like all sorts of marketing strategies together.
To create a cohesive and really unforgettable brand experience for the customer.
Yeah, it's like consumers today, they're hit with messages from all sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's only getting, more and more.
More and more difficult to cut through the noise.
Exactly.
And IMCs, that's what they're all about.
That's it.
So you break down what matters, like what makes these campaigns really tick.
And most importantly, how you can use this in your own marketing efforts, whether you're a small business
Yeah, exactly.
or a large corporation.
And we've got some super interesting examples like Yeti.
The cooler company.
Yeah, they got their coolers featured on, wait for it, Google Street View.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Talk about a cool move. And there's the Barbie movie. That one basically turned the world pink, like you couldn't escape it.
Yeah, they really turned a movie launch into like a full-blown cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
Okay, so before we get lost in the pink sparkles and the adventures, maybe we should just take a step back.
Yeah, good point.
And define what an IMC actually is.
Okay, so at its core, an IMC is really about delivering a consistent brand message across all of your different channels.
Right.
It's not just about doing a little bit of social media here and then sending an email there.
Right, not like spaghetti at the wall.
Exactly. It's not about just hoping something's going to stick. It's about creating a unified experience for your audience.
Right, like whether they're on your website or scrolling through Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah, or at a live event.
At an event, right, yeah.
It's about meeting them where they are.
It's not just like visuals.
Yeah.
It's about getting your values across.
Right.
And, your personality, like what makes you unique.
Yeah, your brand personality, and that has to be authentic. You have to be genuine.
Yeah. And that's how you build trust, right?
That's how you build trust and loyalty with your customer.
Yeah, because they see you doing what you say you're going to do.
Exactly, walking the walk.
Walking the walk.
And there's actual science behind this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so a study in 2022 from the Journal of Science and Technology, they found that consistent messaging actually leads to...
Like across all the different channels?
Across all the different channels, yeah, a 68% increase in audience engagement.
That's huge.
It's a big number.
Yeah. So let's talk channels, right?
Yeah.
We've got social media, email.
The classics, print ads, TV.
The classics, yeah. But it goes way beyond that.
You've got in-person events, experiences.
Yeah, like a pop-up shop.
A pop-up shop, yeah. A trade show, sponsoring something local.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, those are great ways to create a really tangible, memorable experience.
Right, you can actually interact with the brand. And then there's influencer marketing, which I feel like that's pretty big right now.
Oh, it's huge.
That's how you tap into communities that already exist.
Yeah, and you can partner with people that, share your values.
Right.
And that really enhances the credibility of your brand.
Yeah, because they already trust that person.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we get too far down the rabbit hole here,
Yeah.
let's talk about the foundation. Yeah.
It's got to be your own media channels.
Okay, so your website, your
Yeah.
blog, your app.
Your app, anything that you have complete control over.
Right, so you control the message.
You control the message.
Really?
That's where you can tell your brand's story.
Okay.
Share your values.
If you build that solid foundation.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of branch out, right? So let's get to some of these examples, like Yetis, the kings of rugged cool.
Yes.
Their Map the Gaps campaign. It's such a great example of understanding your audience and being creative.
Absolutely. They realized that their audience was passionate about the outdoors,
Like exploring, getting out there.
Adventurers.
Yeah, adventurers, exactly.
And they saw a gap, literally, in Google Street View.
Okay.
Most roads and highways, they're already mapped.
Yeah.
But all the wilderness trails,
Oh, I see.
those are uncharted.
Okay.
So what did Yeti do? They partnered with Google, and they sent a team of adventurers out there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, with GPS cameras.
To map these trails.
Map the trails, exactly.
Awesome.
And of course, they were using Yeti coolers.
Of course.
Because you got to keep your drinks cold out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
It's a product placement, but it felt so natural.
Yeah, totally.
Very aspirational.
Yeah, it wasn't just slapping their logo on a map. It was
It was integrated.
it was integrated into the experience.
Exactly.
Okay, and they used influencer marketing too, right?
Yes, they partnered with people who already embodied the Yeti brand.
So Actual adventurers and explorers.
Yeah, people who were already using Yeti coolers.
Cool. And it worked.
Oh yeah, big time.
Big time.
They saw a 300% increase in sales for their hopper cooler.
Wow.
Yeah, and 78 million social media impressions.
That's a lot of eyeballs.
That is a lot of eyeballs.
So a win for Yeti.
A win for Yeti.
A win for Google.
A win for Google.
And a win for us, because we got to see these new trails.
Oh yeah, we got to virtually explore.
Okay, so that's a really good example of how an IMC can create value for everyone involved. Okay, so let's switch gears to something totally different. The 2023 Barbie movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, this was marketing mastery.
They turned that into a phenomenon.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
Like, you could not escape Barbie.
You really couldn't.
Okay, so nostalgia played a big part.
Huge part.
Yeah.
They were very clever with how they, like, slowly released these little hints, these teasers.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like a breadcrumb trail leading up to the release.
Like, to build that anticipation.
Yeah, and it generated so much buzz online.
Yeah, because everybody was talking about it. Do you remember those first pictures of Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling?
Oh yeah, rollerblading.
Rollerblade.
In those pink outfits?
Yes.
That went viral instantly.
Oh, yeah.
They knew exactly how to capture people's attention and bring back those childhood memories.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't just about promoting the movie itself. They created a whole world around it.
Yeah, like that Airbnb partnership.
The Malibu Dream House. You could rent the dream house.
That was so cool.
It was genius.
Genius, yeah.
It generated so much buzz.
Oh, yeah, because everyone was talking about it.
And it tapped into that desire to experience something.
Yeah, like to be a part of that world.
Exactly.
And then the Google Easter egg.
Oh.
You searched for Barbie, your whole search page turned pink.
It was delightful.
Yeah.
It was so unexpected.
Yeah, it was like a little surprise.
A little sprinkle of magic.
Yeah, and people were sharing screenshots like crazy. Okay, so that was a smart way to integrate the brand into like something that people use every day.
Absolutely. Millions of people use Google every day.
Okay, so phenomenal results.
Yeah.
Okay, so they knew the power of nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
Clever integration.
And just being everywhere.
Okay, so two very different examples.
Yeah, right, different.
But they both show the power of these core principles.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so we've seen these big, huge campaigns.
Yeah.
But IMCs, they can work on a smaller scale too, right?
Absolutely. And they can work for all kinds of budgets. You
Yeah.
don't need a Hollywood budget to do this.
Let's get into some more examples.
Yeah, let's see how this can work for, businesses of all shapes and sizes.
I'm excited.
Me too. So let's start with App Properties. They're a real estate company.
Oh,
And their Love Letters campaign, it's a great example of like the human touch in marketing. Instead of those like, pushy buy now messages,
yeah.
they wrote these like personalized love letters to different neighborhoods.
Oh, that's cute.
It was very sweet. They'd
Yeah.
highlight like what made each neighborhood unique, what made it special.
Oh, cool.
They also wrote letters to clients, even to their own agents and staff.
So they really went all out.
Yeah, it was all about showing that they like really understood the community.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
And these letters, they were everywhere, print ads, social media, even like in local movie theaters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they really spread the love. So it felt very authentic, very personal.
Way better than like a generic email blast,
Exactly.
And it stood out.
It definitely stood out.
Okay, so even in the digital world, like we still crave that human connection.
We do, and at the properties tapped right into that.
Okay, so that's emotional storytelling. What about data?
Oh, data. Yeah, let's talk about Spotify Wrapped.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Everybody loves Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah, it's like a year-end summary of all your listening habits.
Right, your top songs, artists, podcasts.
Yeah.
And they take all that data, which can seem kind of cold and impersonal,
Yeah.
and they turn it into this fun, shareable experience.
Yeah, and everybody shares it?
It's like a little digital trophy,
Yeah.
and it's all over social media every year.
Tons of free publicity for Spotify.
Exactly. So the takeaway here is use your data to make your audience feel good.
Like seen and appreciated.
Yeah, give them something delightful, something they want to share.
Delightful. I like that word.
Okay, so we've talked about emotional storytelling, data.
What about like real-time marketing?
Oh, real-time marketing. Yeah, let's talk about Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, always doing something interesting.
So remember their ad campaign with Davante Adams, the NFL player?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when he got traded to a new team, Taco Bell was like, wait a minute. They saw an opportunity.
Okay, what did they do?
They created this hilarious like real estate listing for Adams's old house.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, but it wasn't just any house. It was like this taco fries themed mansion.
That's amazing.
It was so funny. It went viral instantly.
Oh, yeah, I see.
And it was a clever way to tie it back to their original ad campaign.
Yeah, so they weren't starting from scratch. They were building on something that already existed.
Exactly. They were agile, they saw a moment, and they jumped on it.
And it showed their personality, like that they're fun and in touch with what's happening.
Exactly. So that's a great example of real-time marketing.
Okay, so what about like focusing on a specific problem that people have?
Oh, yeah. Problem solving. Let's talk about McAfee.
The antivirus software.
Yeah, they had this campaign called Secure in 15,
Okay.
and they were targeting small businesses.
Okay.
And they realized that, a lot of small businesses, they don't have a dedicated IT team.
Yeah, it's usually like one person wearing multiple hats.
Exactly. So McAfee, they offered these daily tips and resources.
Okay.
And the key was you could implement these things in just 15 minutes.
Oh, that's smart.
It was all about delivering value, showing that they understood the problem.
Right, and positioning themselves as like a helpful partner.
Exactly.
That's a good approach.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit, talk about nonprofits.
Okay.
The Muscular Dystrophy Association, MDA, they had a big campaign for their 75th anniversary,
Okay.
and they really went all out multi-channel approach.
Okay, what did they do?
They had paid ads, personalized emails, organic social media, even print and direct mail.
So like everything.
Everything. They wanted to reach everyone.
Yeah.
And they had this cool visual thing. Their marketing materials started in black and white,
Okay.
and then they gradually transitioned to full color.
Oh, that's cool.
It symbolized their journey, their progress over 75 years.
I like that. That's really clever.
And it was a very powerful way to connect with their audience.
Okay, so multi-channel mastery.
Yeah, let's talk about another example, PlayStation.
Okay, the gaming console.
Yeah, they wanted to get people excited about the PlayStation 5.
Okay.
So they took these iconic game moments like, big explosions, epic battles,
Okay.
and they turned them into like news segments.
Oh, interesting.
They were like breaking news from the world of PlayStation.
That's funny.
It was very clever.
Yeah.
And they put these segments on TV, online, social media, everywhere.
So big and bold.
Big and bold, exactly. They wanted to grab your attention.
And it worked.
It reminded people why they loved PlayStation.
Okay, so sometimes you got to go big to stand out.
Absolutely. You got to break through the noise.
Okay, what about something a little more down to earth?
How about Four Rivers Smokehouse?
That's a restaurant.
Yeah, a barbecue chain.
Right.
They took a limited time menu
Okay.
and they turned it into this whole multi-platform event. They had Google search ads, social media campaigns, email marketing.
So they covered all the bases.
Yeah, and then they added in some fun stuff like concert ticket giveaways.
Oh, cool.
And they even had like quirky merchandise.
So they made it an experience.
Exactly. It was about more than just the food. It was about the whole vibe. And it drove sales, but it also built brand loyalty.
So people were coming back for more.
They were coming back for more.
That's smart.
Okay, one last example. Redline Solutions.
Redline Solutions, I don't know that one.
They help businesses with inventory and traceability, especially in the food industry.
Okay.
And they did something very interesting. They wrote a book.
A book.
Yeah, it was called Produce Traceability Integrity.
Bro.
And it was all about food safety compliance, a very hot topic right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they used this book as the cornerstone of their campaign.
Okay.
They promoted it everywhere. Webinars, free training sessions, even online discussion groups.
So it wasn't just about selling the book.
No, it was about positioning themselves as experts.
I see.
They were offering valuable knowledge.
And building trust. Okay, so that's using content marketing as part of a bigger IMC strategy.
Exactly, very clever.
Okay, so we've seen a lot of different approaches here.
A lot of different ways to do this.
But the key takeaways, they're all the same. Right?
Yeah, consistency, authenticity, know your audience.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a tiny business or a huge corporation.
Those are the fundamentals.
Okay, so now let's get tactical.
Yeah, let's give people some concrete tips.
How to actually create their own IMC.
From crafting your message to choosing the right channel.
To using data and AI.
We're going to cover it all.
Get your notepads ready, folks.
We're about to level up your marketing game.
So we've seen some pretty amazing examples of IMCs in action, big and small.
Yeah, from those global campaigns to, those smaller but really impactful ones.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what does this all mean for, our listeners?
Well, the key takeaway here is that you don't need like a massive budget or a Super Bowl commercial to make this work.
Right.
Remember that real estate company At Properties with their Love Letters campaign,
Yeah, that was a good one.
it was simple but effective, and you can totally adapt that idea for your own audience.
Right, and Spotify Wrapped, I mean, they're just using data in a really clever way.
Yeah, they're making their users feel special, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, so think about, like, the data you have. Yeah. How can you use it to, surprise and delight your audience?
Exactly. And remember Taco Bell, they were so quick to jump on that opportunity with the Davante Adams trade.
Yeah, they were on top of it.
Yeah, so think about those cultural moments. How can you tap into those to make your brand feel relevant? Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is all great, but where do I even begin?
Yeah, it can feel overwhelming.
It can, but start by taking a look at your current marketing efforts.
Yeah, like take a step back and see the big picture.
Exactly. Are you sending mixed messages? Are your different channels working together?
Yeah, like does your website tell the same story as your social media and your emails?
And are they all reflecting your brand values?
Yeah, that's important.
And don't feel like you need to be on every single platform.
Right. Choose the ones that make sense for your audience.
Exactly. Focus on quality over quantity.
Yeah, and create content that's actually valuable and engaging.
So think about what makes your brand unique.
Yeah. What's your story? What are you all about?
What problems do you solve for your customers?
Once you have a good handle on that, you can start crafting a consistent message.
And don't be afraid to experiment and try new things.
Yeah, the marketing world is always changing.
So stay curious, stay agile, and most importantly, stay focused on building those relationships with your audience.
Well said. I think that's a great place to wrap up our deep dive into integrated marketing campaigns.
Yeah, hopefully everyone's got some ideas brewing.
Lots of inspiration, some tactical tips.
Now go out there and make some marketing magic.